Hi, thanks for watching today. I'd like to share with you a few strategies that will help you incorporate voice into your writing. Someone once said that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. It is the exact same thing with our voice when we write and talk. Since people cannot read our minds, we must share explicitly our thoughts and opinions about things clearly and precisely. But how do we show our feelings? How do we share and convey what that beach or the forest or that character that exists in our mind really looks like? We do this with our unique writing voice. But what is voice? What is the actual definition? I guess I would have to say it's the expressive part of the writing, a combination of the writer and the narrative, or any other writing type, coming together. It is the art and science of writing. It is like the quiet background music coming from the heart of the writer that is always present, or maybe the honesty of the writer working its way through. Voice is what Simon Cowell is talking about when he tells his American Idol contestants to make a song their own, and not just do a note-for-note karaoke version. Voice is when you see a Van Gogh, Monet, or Picasso and know immediately what artist it is. When we read, it is the same. It is what makes us say, I'll bet that was Sandra Cisneros, or I bet Gary Soto wrote that. Voice is the expression of personality, the fingerprint of creativity. The bottom line, voice is what makes writing interesting. Whatever the definition, it is an essential piece of quality writing and central to all communication. The voice in a piece provides the emotional connection between the writer and the reader. Your writing should have as much personality as you do, so learning to develop your writing voice is very important. There are a few strategies that will help you develop a strong personal voice. Follow along as I share with you how you can apply these elements of voice to your writing and be writing like a pro in no time. The first is to write with muscle. Use strong verbs. They are the workhorse of the English language. Avoid to be verbs. Instead, energize your writing with more vivid choices. Instead of saying that she is cold, revise this sentence to she shivered from the cold, wet wind. Create a sense of direct, specific action with your verbs. Does your character slump, cackle, roar, swivel, condemn? Instead of writing the gravel road was on the left side of the barn, consider the gravel road curled around the left side of the barn. The second strategy is to incorporate figurative language. Figurative language enriches writing by adding word images and figures of speech such as similes, metaphors, personification, hyperbole, onomatopoeia, allusion, and maybe even alliteration. You have an array of literary devices to choose from. This is an excellent way for the writer to paint. This example incorporates several figurative language devices. Follow along as I read it to you. Being the perfect child that I am, I spent my Saturday night sitting at the child-sized desk in my room, studiously studying for my chemistry test. All was going well. I had managed to memorize the first two columns of the periodic table when suddenly my bedroom door creaked open and my slimy, no-good brother slithered into the room like Randy in a horrific attempt to steal screams from little children. The childlike monster thought he was going to scare me, but notice how the writer incorporated hyperbole with perfect child, because that is a very big exaggeration, as there is no perfect child. He also used the word creaked, which would be an example of an onomatopoeia, and he alludes to Randy in Monsters, Inc. with Randy when he's comparing the little brother to Randy. The next example, or the next strategy, is repetition for effect. When a writer uses repetition for effect, he repeats the words or phrases, that is, the words or phrases that are worth repeating, that will actually have an impact on the writer, at least 3 times in a row. This might happen in one sentence or in multiple sentences. Good writers use this strategy to make a point, to stress an idea, or to emphasize something important to the reader. It is very different from redundant word choice or just being lazy when writing. In the example, everything was gray. Gray sky, gray trees, gray hut, gray ground, gray people and gray clothes moving. The author wanted us to feel a certain way. Probably depressed or dreary maybe. She wanted us to experience the same thing that the character in her story was feeling. The next strategy is show not tell writing. Beginning writers often do too much telling when they should be doing more showing. Showing writing makes the reader feel like they're in the piece. They incorporate sensory details and imagery. They incorporate smell, touch, hear. They make the reader believe they're actually part of the experience. In this next example, consider the telling sentence. He is an old man, lives alone, and uses a walker. The author's pretty much telling me like it is. There's a drastic difference with the showing paragraph that follows. The tennis balls on the bottom of his walker mute the scraping sound of metal on wood as he scoots his way from the crocheted blanket-covered recliner to the front door. Annoyed that he has to move, his every step is accompanied by mumbles, grumbles, and grimaces, which are made even more prominent by his sagging skin, deep wrinkles, and thick black glasses. As he shuffles to his destination, he pauses to admire a picture of a beautiful woman in out-of-date attire. Pleasant memories must float through his mind, for the grimace momentarily turns to a genuine smile. Consider how the author is able to produce an image through specific details for effect. Remember that you can use this type of description no matter what the text type is, a narrative, informative, or even argumentative. The next strategy is a hyphenated modifier, which is actually one of my favorites because it's so unique and it will catch your reader off guard when it's used correctly. A hyphenated modifier is a modifier, an adjective or an adverb, but it's not a single word like most. Consider the example. It was another sit till your butt's numb school day. I'm sure we can all relate to this. And all those isolated words are hyphenated together to effectively modify the type of school day it was. Or another example. Mom loves to give the I'm the boss lectures, describing the type of lectures that Mom might like to give. You cannot have too many hyphenated modifiers in a paper though, so be sure to limit it to only 1 or 2. But they are a fantastic tool for your writing toolbox. The next strategy is the use of magic 3s. I also love these. This is 3 parallel groups of words, not just a list of 3, but 3 parallel groups of words, usually separated by commas. They create a poetic rhythm. They add support for a point, especially when the 3 word groups have their own modifiers. For example, teachers are supposed to share knowledge, set examples, and support students, not belittle students, pick favorites, and destroy self-esteem. This can be beneficial in all types of writing. Notice the grammatical pattern is the same. Set examples, support students, belittle students. All of these go verb, noun, verb, noun, verb, noun. So be sure that you are creating the same type of parallel structure in your magic 3s. The next example is a real bonus. See if you can name all the voice strategy this piece of text is using. There are several. If I had a sticker on my shirt that said loser, or if my hair looked like a zombie's, or if I had spinach stuck in my teeth, she would tell me the truth, no matter what. Can you find all 4? Have you spotted the magic 3? The repetition for effect, repeating if I. Have you found the simile, the figurative language. Hair looked like a zombie. And wow, spinach stuck in my teeth creates some definite imagery for sure, and some show not tell writing. In your writing, you will need to use these strategies. Sometimes it will happen naturally, but other times you will need to work on developing your voice more intentionally through conscious choices, purposefully selecting the best tools for the specific piece you were working on. It might seem difficult at first, but like with anything else, you will find that it gets easier with practice, and in the end, you will be happy with the results. And so will I. I'll see you in the class.